What if I told you there's a 3-second hack that can crush anxiety the moment it strikes? A simple, almost laughably easy technique that takes just a few seconds to pull you back from the edge and put you in charge again. In this video, I'm not just going to show you this trick, I'm going to break down the incredible science of why it works so well. This isn't fluffy advice, it's a physiological tool backed by research from world-class institutions like Stanford University, and by the end of this video, it'll be your tool to use whenever you need it. Forget everything you've been told about just calming down or thinking positive thoughts. When your body is screaming, "Danger!" your rational brain takes a back seat. You can't think your way out of a physical response that's hardwired into your DNA. That's why you need a tool that speaks your body's language. This technique does exactly that. It's a real-time intervention that short-circuits the stress response right at the source. It doesn't require a yoga mat or a quiet room. It's discreet, it's fast, and it will fundamentally change how you handle anxiety. Stay with me because you're about to get the user manual for your nervous system that you were never given. Before we get to the solution, we need to understand the problem on a biological level. What is actually happening inside your body when that wave of anxiety hits? Because it's not just in your head. It's a powerful primal survival mechanism kicking into overdrive. It all starts in a small almond-shaped part of your brain called the amygdala. Think of the amygdala as your brain's hypersensitive smoke detector. It's always scanning for danger, and when it perceives a threat, whether it's a real one like a speeding car or a social one like public speaking, it pulls the fire alarm. That alarm triggers a flood of stress hormones, mainly adrenaline and cortisol. This is the launch sequence for the famous fight-or-flight response. Your body is gearing up for intense physical action. Your heart rate skyrockets to pump blood to your muscles. Your breathing gets fast and shallow as your body tries to suck in more oxygen. Your pupils dilate. Your digestion screeches to a halt. That's the butterflies in your stomach. Your muscles tense up, getting you ready to move, which is why you might tremble or shake. At the same time, the logical part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, gets partially shut down. Blood flow is rerouted to the more primitive, reactive parts of your brain. This is why your mind goes blank. You literally lose the ability to think clearly. Your survival instincts take the wheel. It's an ancient software program running on modern hardware, and it can't tell the difference between a tiger in the bushes and a tough performance review. This whole process is automatic. The feeling of being out of control is a very real biological state. Just relax. Calm down. Don't worry so much. We've all heard it, right? And if you've ever been truly anxious, you know this advice isn't just useless, it's infuriating. It's like telling someone who's drowning to just swim better. It completely misses the point. Telling yourself to think positive during a panic attack is like trying to stop a freight train with a polite request. The logical part of your brain is offline. The amygdala is in charge. You're operating from a place of pure physiology, not logic. Your body is screaming danger, and no amount of gentle self-talk is going to shut off that alarm. In fact, trying to suppress anxious thoughts often makes them stronger. The more you tell yourself, "Don't panic," the more your brain focuses on panic. Even the advice to take a deep breath can backfire. When most anxious people try this, they take a big, sharp inhale, which can actually activate the very fight-or-flight system you're about trying to calm down. Do that too many times and you can start to hyperventilate, which just ramps up the dizziness and panic. The failure of most advice is that it tries to apply a psychological solution to what has become a profoundly physiological problem. To get control, you don't need to outthink the panic. You need to outsmart it using a method that directly intervenes in the body's response. You need a way to manually flip the switch from fight or flight back to rest and digest. The technique I'm about to teach you is called the Physiological Sigh. This isn't some new age fad, it's a breathing pattern your body already knows and uses automatically. Scientists have known for decades that we all do this spontaneously, especially during sleep, to help regulate our bodies. It's only recently, thanks to neuroscientists like Dr. Andrew Huberman at Stanford University, that we've understood its power as a tool we can use consciously to slam the brakes on stress in real time. In a 2023 study published in Cell Reports Medicine, researchers compared different breathing exercises. They found that while all methods were helpful, cyclic sighing, the physiological sigh, was particularly effective at improving mood and reducing respiratory rate. So, what is it? The physiological sigh is simple. 2 inhales through the nose, followed by 1 long, extended exhale through the mouth. The first inhale is deep, and the second is a short, sharp top-up to completely fill the lungs. Then, You just let it all go with a long, slow sigh. That's it. Don't let the simplicity fool you. This isn't just breathing, this is you hitting the reset button on your nervous system. Now let's get into the elegant science of why this works so fast. To get why the physiological sigh is so powerful, you just need to know two things about your body: your lungs and your nervous system. First, your lungs aren't just empty balloons, they're filled with hundreds of millions of tiny air sacs called alveoli. This is where oxygen gets into your blood and carbon dioxide gets out. When you're stressed, your breathing gets shallow and some of these tiny sacs can collapse on themselves. When that happens, your lungs get less efficient. They can't get rid of carbon dioxide properly, and that CO2 buildup in your bloodstream is a major signal that tells your brain to feel agitated and panicked. It creates a vicious cycle. Here's where the magic happens. The double inhale, that first deep breath followed by a second sharp sip, creates a change in pressure that helps reinflate those little air sacs. In an instant, you've maximized the surface area of your lungs, making them way more effective at their job. Now, with your lungs ready to go, the second part takes over. The long, slow exhale. This is where you directly hijack your nervous system to calm it down. When you exhale, especially when your exhale is longer than your inhale, you're telling your heart to literally slow down. This is a natural phenomenon called respiratory sinus arrhythmia. Your brain is constantly monitoring your body, and when it notices the heart rate slowing, it thinks, okay, the danger must have passed. This message travels up the vagus nerve, which is like a superhighway of information between your body and brain. The brain then gives the all clear to switch off the fight or flight system and turn on the rest and digest system. So, in just 1 or 2 cycles of this breath, you have helped reinflate your lungs for maximum efficiency. 2. Offloaded the maximum amount of carbon dioxide, removing a key chemical trigger for anxiety. 3. Physically slowed down your heart rate. 4. Use that slowing heart rate to tell your brain it's safe to calm down. You've used your breath to manually apply the brakes to your body's panic response. You used physiology to master your psychology. That's the genius of the physiological sigh. If you're finding this deep dive into the science of anxiety helpful, and if the idea of taking back control of your own biology gets you excited, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. We go past the surface level stuff to give you practical, science-backed tools for your mind and body. Click that subscribe button so you don't miss what's next. Knowing the science is great, but mastering the technique is what gives you the power. So right now, wherever you are, I want you to do this with me. We're going to do 3 cycles together. First, just get comfortable. You can close your eyes if you want, but you don't have to. The beauty of this is you can do it with your eyes wide open in the middle of a meeting, and nobody will even notice. Ready? Cycle 1. Take a nice, deep inhale through your nose, and now at the very top, sneak in 1 more little sip of air. Good. Now, slowly, through your mouth, let it all go. A long, controlled sigh. Exhale until you feel empty. Make it longer than your inhaled. Did you feel that little shift? Let's do it again. Cycle 2. Deep inhale through the nose, fill up, and a quick sip more at the very end. Perfect. Now, a long, slow, complete exhale through your mouth. Let any tension in your shoulders go with that breath. Push it all out. Excellent. You might already feel a change, a quietness in your head. That's your nervous system responding. Cycle 3. One last time, let's make this the best one. Deep inhale through the nose, all the way up. Second, sharp inhale to top it off. And now the most important part, a very long, very slow exhale through your mouth. Imagine a balloon deflating slowly and steadily. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Now just pause. Notice how you feel. It's not always a huge lightning bolt, but a quiet, profound shift. A feeling of being more grounded. That's the feeling of you taking back control. Practice this a few times a day, even when you're not anxious. The more you do it, the more effective it will be when you really need it. The real power here is how practical this is. Let's run through a few scenarios where this can be an absolute game changer. The big presentation or public speaking. You're waiting for your turn to speak and you feel that familiar dread. Your heart starts to race. This is the moment. Instead of letting the panic build, you quietly perform 2 or 3 physiological sighs. Double inhale through the nose, long, quiet exhale. To anyone else, it just looks like you're taking a breath. But you're actually halting the adrenaline flood, slowing your heart, and bringing your thinking brain back online. You walk out there not without nerves, but with control. 2. The stressful work email. You open your inbox to a critical email from your boss. Immediately, your stomach clenches. Before you even think about typing a reply, stop. Lean back. Perform one physiological sigh. Double inhale, long exhale. Do it again. This tiny pause stops you from firing off an emotional response and gives you the clarity to formulate a calm, strategic answer. 3. Trying to fall asleep. Your body is tired, but your mind is running a marathon, replaying the day's events. That mental chatter is a sign of a wound-up nervous system. Lying in bed, do 5 to 10 cycles of the physiological sigh. The long exhales are key. They will actively slow your heart rate and signal to your brain that it's safe to power down for the night. 4. During a difficult conversation. You're in a tense discussion and you feel yourself getting defensive. In the pause while the other person is speaking, discreetly do a physiological sigh. It will help you stay grounded, listen better, and respond from a place of calm rather than raw emotion. In every one of these moments, the physiological sigh acts as a pattern interrupt. It breaks the feedback loop where anxious thoughts create a physical stress response, and that physical response then justifies the anxious thoughts. It's your emergency brake for the runaway train of anxiety. For so long, we've treated our minds and bodies like they're two separate things. We've tried to use our thoughts to control our feelings, and honestly, it's often a losing battle. But science is showing us it's a two-way street. Your body and brain are in a constant conversation, and your breath is the most direct and powerful way for you to take charge of that conversation. You no longer have to be a passive victim of your own anxiety. You don't have to just wait for the storm to pass. With the physiological sigh, you have a tool grounded in solid science that allows you to deliberately shift your own state in a matter of seconds. This isn't about getting rid of anxiety forever. It's a normal part of being human. This is about changing your relationship with it. It's about knowing that when the wave starts to rise, you have a way to navigate it. You have a way to stay in control. My challenge to you is this. Don't just let this be an interesting video you watched. Practice it. Use it. Do one right now. Double inhale. Long exhale. Feel that? That's power. That's you. Taking command of your own nervous system. Thank you for investing this time in yourself. If you found this valuable, share it with someone who could use it. And for more science-backed strategies to master your mental and physical health, make sure you're subscribed. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. In what situation are you going to try the physiological sigh first? Be well, and I'll see you in the next video.